Welcome again in the English e-lecture series of SBP Government College Dungarpur. As we were discussing about the prologue and its character. Now in this lecture we will discuss the other ecclesiastical characters. In the previous lecture we have discussed the pardoner, prioress, monk, friar, the summoner and the good one in ecclesiastical character, the parson. In this lecture we will discuss the second son, the nun's priest, wife of Bath, and many other important and non-important character. The second nun. The second nun is not described in the general prologue, but she tells a saint's life for her tale. Another one, the nun's priest. Like the second nun, the nun's priest is not described in the general prologue also. His story of Chanticleer, however, is well crafted and suggests that he is witty, self-effacing preacher. Again, the character from the society, the wife of Bath. She has been married 5 times and had many other affairs in her youth, making her well practiced in the art of love. She presents herself as someone who loves marriage and sex, but from what we see of her, she also takes pleasure in rich attire, talking, arguing, and like so on. She is deaf in one ear and has a gap between her front teeth, which was considered attractive in Chaucer's time. After the wife of Bath, many non-important characters, but they are vividly characterized in the gallery of Chaucer's prologue. The man of law. The man of law is a successful lawyer commissioned by the king. He upholds justice in matters large and small and knows every statute of English law by heart. The Manciple. A Manciple was in charge of getting provisions for a college or court. Despite his lack of education, this Manciple is smarter than the 30 laws he feeds. So you can judge another point in the Chaucer prologue that many characters are not well educated. Their behavior and their view of talking is to show them educated. Another good character, the clerk. Good in the sense of their paying the duty. The clerk is poor student of philosophy, having spent his money on books and learning rather than on fine clothes. He is threadbare and worn. He speaks words wisely and full of moral virtue. After that, the physician, doctor of physic or physician, he is one of the best in the profession, for he knows the cause of every malady and can cure most of them. He rarely consults the Bible and has an unhealthy love of financial gain in his profession. Franklin. Franklin means freeman. In Chaucer's society, a Franklin was neither a vassal serving a lord nor a member of the nobility. This particular Franklin is a connoisseur of food and wine, so much so that his table remains laid and ready for food all the day. Here comes the reeve. A reeve was similar to a steward of a manor, and this reeve performs his job shrewdly. His lord never loses so much as a ram to the other employees, and the vessel under his command are kept in line. However, he steals from his master. The guildsmen. The 5 guildsmen, group of 5 guildsmen, appear as a unit All five guildsmen are clad in the livery of their brotherhood. The cook who is serving the guildsmen, as we have seen or we have discussed, that there was a yeoman also. A yeoman was serving the knight and the squire. The same the way, the cook is devoted or dedicated to the service of the guildsman's group. The cook works for the guildsman. Chaucer gives little detail about him, although he mentions a crusty shore on the cook's leg. So, the physical appearance or the attire of the characters or the behavior of the characters are vividly or differently depicted or characterized in the prologue to the Canterbury Tales. Merchant from the business class. The merchant trades in furs and other clothes. Another the description about the attire of the person, mostly from Flanders. He is part of a powerful and healthy class in Chaucer's society. Another, the shipman, brown skinned from years of sailing. The shipman has seen every bay and river in England and exotic ports in Spain and Carthage as well. He is a bit of a rascal, known for stealing wine while the ship's captain sleeps. The another character from the lower class or the lower pedestal of the society, therefore from the society's working class, you can say, the plowman. The plowman is the parson's brother and is equally good hearted. You can keep it in mind that the few persons are closely related. In knight and square, they are father and son, their servant yeoman, and same the way the parson and his brother, the plowman, is equally good hearted. A member of the peasant class, he pays his thieves to the church and leads a good Christian life. Miller. Miller. The Miller is remarkable for showing the physical character in the prologue. He is stout and brawny. The miller has a wart on his nose and a big mouth, both literally and figuratively. He threatens the host notion of propriety when he drunkenly insists on the telling the second tale. The miller seems to enjoy overturning all conventions. He ruins the host carefully planned storytelling order. He rips doors of hinges and the tells tale that is somewhat blasphemous. So, ridiculously raising class, scholarly class, carpenter, and so on, like these kind of things. Thank you. Thanks a lot.